Hello YouTube. I'm going to teach you how to remove your forks and reinstall forks in case you get new forks and want to take old ones off or something like that. And in like tightening your headset, all the stuff in between. What you'll need is something to loosen your side bolts on your stem. Well, you'll need a stem, a frame, forks, and a headset first. And bars would help for this. But, yeah, so, yeah, you'll need something to loosen your side bolts on your stem and something to take off of your top cap. For me, it's a 6mm and an 8mm Allen wrench. Yeah, and for you, it might just be like a regular old wrench, or something like that. First, what you're going to want to do, the first step to taking your forks off, you want to loosen your side bolts on your stem. Just loosen them enough so where you can spin your stem without your forks or front wheel moving. Not like just spin it, but like twist it and stuff, like that. Just enough so you can get it off of your the top of your forks or whatever. And then once you do that, you can just take off your top cap. Make sure to do these two in order, because if you, especially when putting your forks back on and tightening your headset, because if you tighten the side bolts, that'll clamp it down onto your forks first, and then that will make it just harder to compress your stem down into tightening your headset. So yeah, just take your top cap off and take off your stem. And yeah, and then to take off your forks, if you just don't really care, if you're getting a new headset and stuff like that, then you can just don't really keep this stuff in order. But if you want to keep the headset you have, then you want to make sure to keep all the stuff you take off of the top in order. That includes spacers, the actual top, like the cap for your headset, and then the little spacer or the spanner that spins your headset out and keeps it straight. After that, you can just take off your forks. So yeah, it's pretty easy. The only hard part is putting them back on, which I'm going to tell you how to do now. So yeah, to put them back on, you want to have all your stuff in place, like your headset. You want to have them pressed into your frame and stuff, and then just slide your forks back in through it. And then you want to put everything you took off back in, if I can even. So yeah. You want to take off put everything back on that you had off originally. And you want to have enough spacers so that when you put your stem back on, or whatever, you have like almost no space in between like the top of the fork and the top of the stem. That is so it's just not all grindy, and I don't know, your headset's smooth and stuff. Just makes it better. So this part, this is the harder part of this. first you're going to screw in your top cap or your compression cap all the way into your forks with your fingers. Only go all the way in with your fingers at first, because then the rest part is fine tuning, and that's not really that fun. But it's easy depending on the space in between the top of your finger or whatever. After you spin it all the way around with your fingers and get as tight as you can with your fingers, you're going to want to start tightening the top a little bit each time. This is where bars help, because then you can just push and pull on your bars to make sure there's no play, because doing it with just regular stems just sucks. So yeah, just keep tightening it. You are going to want to tighten it all the way with your fingers. After you do that, keep going a tiny bit and push and pull on your bars, keeping your front wheel straight to see how much play there is. And based on that, you want to tighten it just a tiny bit more each time and keep feeling that. You want to get it just perfect. And once you feel that it's just perfect, don't even go like a 20th spin on your whatever you're pulling on, the wrench or whatever. You want to go just a tiny bit more just to make sure it's in place. And after that, that's the hard part. You want to line up your stem with your forks or your front wheel and tighten your side bolt. And then once you get your side bolts nice and like screwed in, then you're done. When you tighten your headset, you're going to want to make sure that you can spin your bars at least twice around. And you want to make sure that you can spin your bars like probably around 3 times, and you want to make sure that it doesn't feel grindy. If it's grindy, you want to go back and redo the whole thing all over again. It's just pretty much fine tuning. So yeah, once you can spin your bars around probably 3 times, and your bars don't stick, you know, like you just tap it a tiny bit and it spins, that's good. And if there's no play. So yeah, that's how you tighten your or remove forks, and tighten your headset and put forks back on. So yeah.